What's going on, everybody? Happy Monday night. I'll say that, right? Happy Monday night. That's a great night of Mondays. Yes, with Pedro and Hannibal as a YouTube channel. We're hanging out, having a good time. How are you doing today, Mr. Bet on You?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Still feeling a little bit of the effect of whatever that I got sick with last week. This is probably
Yeah.
the first day where I feel pretty good, 100%. So like I still have a bit of a scratchy throat, so I may have to mute to cough, but much better than the last couple of days. Like I was just tired. Took a lot of I had to sleep. Like it was, I don't know what I had. I don't know if it was COVID, but
Sounds
the
like you
energy
got
was gone.
some
Yeah.
kind of strain of that or something similar is what it sounds like. If it lasted that long, maybe.
Yeah, it wasn't a normal cold. Like everyone in the house is sick, but we're all getting a little better. But it's fucking Lee. No, Lee. It was not the clap. The clap doesn't. I mean, I wouldn't know. Patron, maybe you know. Does the
But
symptoms of
the
the
clap,
clap?
the
Um.
symptoms of the clap are pretty mild for the first couple of days. It hits you day 3,
Oh
really
shit.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then once you get to about day 5, you're good. So
Oh, but you still get some antibiotics, right? Or you just let it
yeah, it
natural.
just it just hurts down there a little bit. It's fine.
Oh no. I'm not saying that I have had that before, but if I did,
Neither
it's
am I.
very painful
I have
from
no
what I
experience.
heard from a friend of mine.
No experience. I heard from a friend. Yeah, just like Hannibal. Yeah. Listen, bro. I'm glad you're feeling a little bit better, though, man. I'm glad you're feeling better.
Yeah, it's going around. It's that time of the year. It's cold. It's miserable right now. Everything turns dark at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. There's not enough sunlight, so it's just like a really down period. I mean, the best thing is the fact that sports is picking up right now. We got the
Oh yeah.
NFL playoffs finally basically took shape. But before we get into the future of the NFL playoffs, let's talk about the Bears because we did talk about that on last episode. You were saying I'm confident.
Yeah.
Bears going to beat the Packers by 30. I was like, really? He's like, yeah, we're going to beat
Oh,
the shit out of them,
I said
curb
to him.
stomp them.
I said they're going to beat him by
You
30
said
points.
Jordan Love was a bitch, and
I
you was
did say
like, this is it. This is the time to shine. What happened? Let me check the score. Did they win? I don't think they did.
no, they didn't, Hannibal. They didn't win.
Bears
Listen,
didn't win.
I'll say this: to say I
Huh?
was disappointed is I can't even fathom. I don't know what word to use because, in my opinion, okay, I'm not the biggest. Like I don't know all the games the Bears have ever played. I don't know every guy's name on the team. I'm not an expert, but I'm a fan. Okay.
Right.
So for me, I thought this was the biggest game in the franchise history's had for a while. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
we don't. I just felt like it was a big game for a few reasons. Clearly, when you're playing a rival like the Packers, and we haven't beat them in 9 or 10 consecutive games, so it's several years, basically five years we haven't beat them. That's embarrassing. One.
Get it?
Because most of the time, even if you get a rival, regardless of how bad you are, you're going to beat them. You play them twice, you're going to beat them once, or maybe you beat them. You lose 2 times in a year, but you beat them 1 time the next year. We've just been it's bad. So if we would have won, we would have kept them out of the playoffs. We would have ended the season on a great note, like a 5-1 run in the last 6 games. Would have been great. Yeah. Justin Fields, if we win, he's probably plays well. Those question marks kind of go away. He's been playing better. And yesterday, the Bears can't manage 1 touchdown against your rival. Justin Fields, it still has a lot of question marks. This guy goes out there. He got sacked a lot. The offensive line didn't help him, but he didn't make enough plays.
Yeah.
And that to me is very sad because at the end of the day, like he had everything right in front of him. If they win that game yesterday and he plays well, he's
no
back.
problem. Yeah, he's back.
Right now, it's like 50-50. So it's just it's depressing, man. It sucks, bro. It sucks.
Yeah, it's just, and it wasn't like they got blown out. So it seemed like there was always a chance throughout the entire game. Did you feel like it was ever going to turn around, or you just felt like it just was not enough there to make a difference?
I felt like I was nervously watching that game. When we scored, when we got a field goal in the opening drive, I was like, okay, that's good. It's cool. Defense made some plays. I'm like, okay, this is starting out good. But like the offensive line. He got sacked so many times, missed a couple throws. Nobody made any plays on offense, So it's just, I can think of a couple plays. He had a 30-yarder to Cole Kmet. He hit DJ Moore once for something decent. A couple of good runs. He scrambled once or twice. That's not. We need more than that, man. So I just felt like it was. The play calling wasn't good. It was just defense did enough, but they gave up some big plays on third down. We were down Jalen Johnson, a cornerback. He's one of our better defensive guys. That did not help. The Packers exploited that, and we had no counter to that. So the coaching wasn't great, in my opinion. It's just depressing, man. We could have ended the season on a high note. Now we're going in, and there's question marks. Some people are going to want Caleb Williams. Some people are going to want Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah.
It's just, it sucked. It's a horrible. So we start the year by losing to the Packers, and we end the year by losing to the Packers. That's tough pill to swallow. So.
Especially when you didn't really give a lot of love to Jordan Love over the season. You kept hating on him. I don't know because he's light skinned and he seemed like he did pretty well against all of us mere mortals, but you didn't give him Jordan. Like, do you? Well, again, you'll never say he's going to be great or anything, but
no,
they're in the playoffs, right? And you got your 8 teams. Who you? I mean, do you got like a good pick from NFC or the AFC? Like, what we got? I mean, 49ers got the bye. Ravens got the bye. Let's look at the NFC real quick. So the Packers versus Cowboys. I'll say Cowboys. What do you think?
Yeah. For me, I think the Cowboys and the Ravens look like the better teams. I think the 49ers, but the Cowboys, they got defense, and Dak Prescott's playing really good. CeeDee Lamb's been the best wide receiver over the last 10 weeks. If you look at the last 10 weeks of the NFL, he's the best wide receiver statistically. So the Cowboys are going to be, they got Michael Parsons, probably one of the 1 or 2 best defenders. Yeah. And the Ravens look legit. They're on a mission. Lamar Jackson's playing great. They got a great defense. I'm not buying into the Browns and the whole Joe Flacco thing. I think the Ravens and the Cowboys are my picks right now.
Ew.
To me, if I'm looking at the NFL and the teams going hot right now that are still pretty healthy. Shout out to Gig Hustler representing Chicago. Yeah, it was rough, man. Shout out to Big Carl, DoorDash Rick, all you guys in the chat. But
shout out to DoorDash Rick. This comment over here, the Bears suck. Yeah, I agree with that.
We won more games than the Giants, so listen.
Well, because our Vanilla Vic was hurt. He was out for a couple of games, even though he was terrible when he was playing. I don't know what we're gonna do because
what do you do? Does Daniel Jones come back? Is he your QB1 next year?
Yeah. You still pay him all that money. It ain't gonna be Tommy DeVito. He's not. Tyron Taylor. He's not the guy. So they have to bring him back. They're gonna make some changes. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do because the team was so inconsistent. I mean, they got blown out embarrassingly a few times.
Yeah,
mostly by the Cowboys. That's why I don't agree. Cowboys are not going to make it because they never do. They never do. So that's my analysis.
Hey,
they never will. Fair. So
fair. I've been seeing there's been some conspiracies. Some people think the NFL's rigged. I see a lot of people think that.
A lot of people, which is so
right. So there's the logo for the Super Bowl, the L and the V and the X or the I's or whatever, right? Yeah. So people have gone back and looked at prior years' color scheme for those logos, and there are times that it matches. The 2 teams that meet have those color schemes, right? So this year the colors are kind of purplish, bluish, and like reddish. So people are thinking it's 49ers and the Ravens. Like there's conspiracy. People think the NFL's
shit. That was my pick right there because it's wide open. I really do. At least in terms of like Cowboys or the Eagles or even the 49ers, even like the Lions. Like, I mean, it's fucking hilarious that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Man,
that's can't believe it, right? But I think 49ers is for me consistent, and I think they're able to come out of this as long as no one gets hurt, obviously. But I don't trust the Eagles and I don't trust the Cowboys. But I am biased because they're both better than the Giants. But coming out of the AFC, I Ravens, right? Like
they look.
It seemed like it's their time. Like this is it.
Yeah.
Right.
The only other team I would say, the Buffalo Bills have been really hot. They just
like them play. Listen. Yeah. I give some props to for Allen for winning the big one yesterday. It was an important game, and he actually came through. So that was good.
Yeah, they could have either been out or, after all the other games and the people losing or what, they were going to be in either way, but now they're going to be able to host a game versus going on the road. I think they would have had to go, if they lost, they would have had to go back to Miami, I think. So anyways, I mean, they're kind of hot right now. So when you look at football, you look at, are we healthy and how are we playing the last month of the season? Bills been playing really good. Cowboys been playing really good. Ravens, Browns. Those are the teams that have been playing the best. The Rams have been playing really good over the last month as well. So those are, and the Lions, they've been playing really good. I think those are the 5 or 6 teams that have been kind of hot going in. Whereas like Chiefs and the Eagles, those are my 2 preseason picks. They've been faltering the last month, right? So they don't look good right now. So
I think Parlay Hannibal's gonna come in for the playoffs Sunday and Saturday and Sunday. Maybe drop a few, just some winners. Link those together. Maybe pay enough, make enough money to pay the rents.
Listen, I love that for you. I hope you win. I was going to place a bet this weekend. I'm glad I didn't. I would have lost my $100 I was going to put down on a 6-leg parlay. So I saved 100. But good luck, man. I don't know. The playoffs are tough, man. It's tough.
Yeah, it can go all over the place. Oh yeah, you guys are watching the college football national championship game. Michigan's still winning, 20-13. Yeah. So, I mean, this is it. If Michigan wins, Harbaugh leaves, goes back to the NFL, right?
Some people are thinking that. I don't know. Some people are saying, what's the team that they got him going to? Not the Jags, the Chargers. The Chargers fired their coach.
The Chargers fired their coach. I think the Falcons fired their coach.
Yeah. Yes.
Washington, Commander General Skins, they've fired. Which that was long overdue. It just wasn't working. I mean, you need a quarterback. No matter what happens, you don't have the quarterback. I think some people are kind of they're mad about that pick when they got Chase Young. They probably should have went quarterback. But it's easy to say that because Chase Young didn't necessarily become just that franchise player expecting.
And he's gone now. He's with the 49ers. They let him go. So that pick was kind of wasted, to your point. They didn't get anything out of that. He made some sacks for him, but he was hurt as well. Now he's not even there. So, it's tough. I like Ron Rivera. He's an ex-Chicago Bear, right, back in the day. Yeah. But he's just kind of his coaching style, I think. They brought in Eric Bieniemy to be the offensive coordinator. And I think the Washington offense at times looked pretty good. But Ron Rivera's I think he's done. I don't know if he'll get another shot as the head coach. So.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah. I mean, he did some good work. It's just, no quarterback, he's not going to win.
No.
It's not going to work. Big Carl jumped in with a comment earlier. Basically, he was talking about John Moran. I know I'm jumped into the NBA. He's out for the rest of the season.
Did that just happen? I didn't.
Breaking news. Yeah, let me pop it on the screen here. I'm like, he just started the other day.
He was playing good too. He was playing real good.
Yeah. So he's to have season-ending soldiers surgery. Did he hurt himself? Oh, he did during training session on Saturday.
That sucks.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah, I guess he'll be back next season. But they were doing pretty well.
I mean, he lost the whole year with the suspension. When he only played a couple of weeks, right? So he's basically lost the whole year. That's crazy, man.
I wonder that kind of comes back to a theory that a lot of people have been talking about online. Why back in the 90s, NBA players were able to play 82 easy. I mean, none of them had these injuries the way these younger players are having, right? Now, John Moran did not play. Right, so it's not like he got it. I'm sure he didn't do anything strenuous over those 25 games that he got suspended for. But he comes back and he playing hard. That's how John Moran plays. He plays really hard, and then all of a sudden he just gets hurt. Now, if he would play for the rest, he played like a regular season, would that have happened? I don't know.
Let me ask you a question. I want to get your take on this. You might have heard these theories, right? Because I've seen other ex-NFL players and ex-NBA players, guys that played maybe in the 80s, early 90s, right? Mid-90s. Yeah. And they talk about their diet. They talk about how they exercise and their nutrition. And it was really different back then than it is now. Now you have a lot of specialists, these vegan diets, plant-based, all this stuff, this, very, critiqued and tailored to each individual, which I guess could be good, but some people, some ex-athletes think that we're softening the athlete in some ways by worrying too much and doing too much. Also, I think back in the day, we got to remember, especially with football, but with basketball, these guys would come. I'll use football as an example. They would get hit really hard, something would happen, and these guys would pop these pills.
Oh yeah,
They
definitely.
take a shot of Teradol, I think, or something they call it, right? And they don't really. I don't even know if that's really allowed anymore. So I feel like the athletes now are more protected, which is good. But do you think there's any correlation with the modern medicine, and worrying about the safety too much? Or do you think that it's good that these guys, like, why do you think they're getting hurt more than they did back in the day? What do you think about that?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not familiar with too much of the details of what diets they have, but I definitely think the load management may be a problem where you're so quick to take people and not work their bodies, because sometimes you have to get into that kind of shape. That's probably what may have happened with Morant. Yeah, he was in shape, but you weren't playing the rigors and how aggressive, and you need to put all your effort in to play in the regular season. So I'm thinking that part of it, the load management, is making things worse. But in terms of nutrition, like, well, whoever LeBron is doing or whoever he's talking to, like, they should listen to that guy. I mean, for LeBron's body to stay the way it has been. I mean, you saw that dunk he did the other day on Paul George. Well, Paul George was just there. He wasn't. He was just there. That was aggressive. Like,
crazy.
Still the greatest finisher that I've ever seen. Consistent.
You think in NBA, you think he's the best?
I think so. When you can't stop him. When he, like, him and Giannis. But in terms of, like, when he's getting into that, they call it the next gear. You're not stopping that, man. Like, that's why Paul George didn't even bother. He's like, fuck it. I'm already, you know what I mean?
I'm gonna have to think on that, because there's a few guys I can think of, but just because of how big he is too.
Yeah,
right?
just the gifted, being 6'8", being 2 something, and full of muscle. He's been able to spend a lot of money on his body and able to play, and play a lot of games. Yeah, towards the end of his career right now, he's there's some days off, obviously, but still, he can figure it out. So I don't know, it could be just an individual thing. Um, but yeah, the load management is hurting NBA when people are taking days off to prep for the playoffs or whatever. And that's not an indication of success anyway when you give your guys extended time off, right? Same thing with the NFL, when games that matter towards the end, they don't play, but the starters don't play. So I don't know.
Yeah. Big Carl says LeBron spends $1 million a year in his body. I've heard that. He said that.
Yeah, I've heard that as well.
I mean, that's, think about all the money he makes. We say million, that's a lot of money. But if you think about it, what he's making per year, I mean, it's smart. He's investing in his body, and that million has paid him back tenfold, right? Because he's been able to have extra contracts, grow his brand. He's relevant still after 20 years. So that million is paid him off, man, right? I mean, I think he's smart. He's definitely a smart guy for that.
Definitely. And then also Tom Brady, right? He had this philosophy. He was trying to sell, I don't know, was it a TB12 plan or whatever, pliability, that, I mean, he was able to play into his mid-40s. So it's like there's certain things I think make sense. I know Tony Gonzalez became vegan towards the end of his career. There's a few athletes that swear on being a vegan. That's gross. But, if it keeps your body. I mean, our vegan food doesn't taste good.
Justin Fields is vegan, but then when he went to the Bears, the story is they started implementing some fish and some other proteins. So I think he's whatever that is when you eat fish but not meat and stuff. But he's
or something like that.
Yeah, there you go. So he's that, but he doesn't do like the dairy and the other meats and all that.
I love fish, so that kind of makes sense. And really, I think a lot of Black people are lactose intolerant; they just don't want to admit it. So you probably shouldn't be messing with too much dairy and all that other stuff.
Is that like a genetic thing? I haven't heard that before.
Yeah, I think so.
Is it? Interesting.
But I haven't researched, and I'm just talking straight out of my ass. But you guys are not here to listen to accurate scientific thought or theories or anything. But in my mind and in my experience, I think there's a lot of stuff that, certain cultures are not meant to eat, but things that you eat, that I'll eat, that may mess up your stomach, but may not, be reversed in terms of like cultural foods and whatnot.
Well,
right?
Isn't I could be. I feel like dairy, especially in America, is treated way different than it is in a lot of other parts of the world. Right. We have really, like, the way we treat dairy and the way that we're told milk is good for you, and like there isn't any other animals that I know that drink another animal's milk.
No, right? And why do we do it? What's wrong with us? We're sick.
Well, what I heard was after World War I, there was something with the farmers, and they had a lot of cattle or cows, and they needed to, so like we had this like what people call propaganda to have us drink more milk to
Oh
help
shit.
the farming industry and to help the economy of those kind of people, whatever. Anyways, so there's something tied with World War I, farmers in America, and trying to boost that, So the same in a similar fashion that the Food and Drug Administration has said you got to have this kind of diet and eat this. So a lot of people think that is designed to help companies sell certain products, right? And to kind of brainwash us to think that we need this and we need that and we need this. So you talk about being African Americans being maybe lactose intolerant, right? That
Oh,
might be genetic.
lactose intolerance.
Well, I guess cow milk is for calves. Period. Colitis. That's what a lot of people. I've been hearing a lot about that. I drink a lot of milk, so whatever it is, what it is. I like it, but there could be something. There could be something to that based on genetics and our bodies and what we're supposed to have. I don't know.
Well, I'm impressed. I mean, Pedro's dropping some history lessons. So we had science, history, like you
You're
learning
welcome.
everything
Listen,
here of a
I'm full of
conspiracy
a
theory to
lot
get
of
black people to
nonsense.
drink milk. And then Pedro loves milk. So like Pedro,
I
you're
do.
an investor in the,
I'm not. I just like it. I don't
yeah.
know.
No, it's not good. It's not good for me. It doesn't like I like it, but it's not good. I tried
Yeah.
the other stuff. Almond milk is good, oat milk, like it's basically the same
Co-
consistency.
coconut milk's good.
Coconut milk's good, yeah.
Coconut milk.
But I think Carl says he don't recommend drinking a lot of cow milk. Definitely don't drink milk from a bull. Yeah, yeah, we that's pretty good advice there because that's not milk at all. That's something else.
Listen, man. I want to get um, Katt Williams. So just so y'all know, I texted Hannibal like, "You seen this Katt Williams stuff?" Like it was
Yeah,
everywhere. Obviously, the interview with Unc Shannon. Shannon is killing it right now. Every day I grow more of a fan of his. I watched that nightcap show with him and Ocho Cinco. I think it's absolutely fantastic.
yeah.
I think it's really good, really, really good. Anyways, so obviously he interviewed Katt Williams. I know you saw some clips. A lot of people are talking about it. A lot of people, I feel like my opinion of Katt Williams, I always thought he was a little crazy,
Right.
but maybe I was wrong. What's your thoughts on what we've been seeing with Katt
Well,
Williams and him throwing all these guys under the bus?
well, Big Carl talking about my boy Cat broke the internet. So when I hear someone use that term broke the internet, that's what what happened, right?
Yeah,
Because that interview has about 30 million views. Stuff,
crazy.
this is like fucking Mr. Beast type shit where, he drops a video and gets 20, 30 million. This is a podcast, a almost 3 hour podcast of Cat Williams. Basically, he's mad with everybody, right? Um, it wasn't a big surprise because Cat Williams is that kind of controversial, provocative, especially as of late. Been on radio, interviews, going back and forth, talking about comedians. So um, he said in the beginning he was comfortable with Shannon and he was ready to let go a lot of stuff that he held inside, shit that they obviously him and the people he talked about. There was some brewing animosity, and he was ready to. He's like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna tell everyone everything."
Yeah.
And from everything he has talked about, there's not a lot. I don't think there's much lies. If you
Mm.
research all the things that he talked about, the other comedians, especially with Steve Harvey. I don't know if you're a fan of Steve Harvey. Are you?
It's funny. That's funny you said that. I actually saw Steve Harvey live at one of his tapings of his show in Chicago
Okay.
several years ago.
The game show or like the talk
No, the
show?
talk show. The talk show,
Okay,
yeah.
gotcha.
And it was cool. There's some things I like about Steve Harvey, but the more you learn about an individual, and it's hard to know, like, what is real? Is somebody just being a hater? Is there truth there? The more I learn, it's kind of like I like some of the things Steve Harvey talks about, but
Yeah.
now it makes me question, like, is he a real genuine dude? I don't know. I'm not sure.
Well, I'm like I found Steve Harvey to be funny at times.
Yeah.
I used to watch the show with him and Cedric the Entertainer. There were some funny moments. Like the show wasn't bad. It was okay. I always found Steve Harvey to be okay.
Yeah.
I thought he's overrated. Like the amount of attention he always received. I'm like, yeah, okay. Like he seems like he works well for TV and TV shows and introducing things. So like, all right, cool. Like not every comedian is supposed to be fucking Eddie Murphy or whatever.
Yeah.
But he obviously there's some issues with him and Cat Williams, and Cat Williams just aired him out, accusing Harvey of stealing a sitcom character from Mark Curry. I'm not sure if you were familiar with Mark Curry.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
That was a funny show.
Would you when if you watch the show and you watch his show, so you watch Henry and Mr. Cooper and you watch the Steve Harvey show, he copied everything. The look, everything about it, and you didn't think about it that way until Cat Williams brings it up. Like this guy was always envious of Bernie Mac. I think Bernie Mac was more funnier than basically was it Steve Harvey, Cedric, the entertainer, the Dila Hoogly guy.
For me, Bernie Mac was by far funnier than those three guys.
Exactly.
Yes. I always thought that Bernie Mac, to me, even the show he had was great.
Yeah.
Bernie Mac was so good. So good.
So Cat Williams was just like bringing a lot of like receipts on stealing jokes, having evidence that Steve Harvey stealing jokes, Cedric the Entertainer stealing jokes, and that's a big fucking deal in the comedy world. It's kind of similar to hip hop a little bit. Like you can't steal someone's shit.
It happens though a lot.
Well, in terms of, well, okay, some people say it could be blatant stealing, or it's like a like sometimes you think you made something original, but you realize no, you probably saw something, probably the same act a couple years ago, and then you forget. But Cedric's blatant stealing, like blatant stealing Cat's jokes.
Did you see the one about the space? Was it a spaceship? He turned. They went instead of a spaceship, it was a car, or vice versa.
Right.
But like, now these things come out, and you realize, like subconscious. Sometimes you watch comedy, it's like, okay, you don't remember if you heard it before, you know, you didn't. But then like you look at the timelines, it's like, okay, yeah, did Steve Harvey's show really rip off Mr. Cooper or Hanging with Mr. Cooper? I think.
And there's old YouTube videos of people talking about how it seems like Steve Harvey kind of stole his whole career, like his whole everything. And Mark Curry is funny. He's a funny guy. There's some scenes with him guest starring on the Jimmy Fox show, as he's a drill sergeant, and as Jamie is in trouble in traffic school. Funny shit. He was even he was guest on the Martin Lawrence show. Like funny guy, but he never got his just due. Steve Harvey got all the movies and the TV shows, all that money and accolades. Mark Curry did not get his just due. So, like, that's something that Cat wanted to talk about. He wanted to open up the bullshit and how weird Hollywood is, how toxic, and we all kind of know that. But he's letting you know, like, I was in those situations. And also, I want to talk about Martin Lawrence, right? He talks about, hey, Martin wanted me on the next movie. He was like, I'm gonna do it, don't worry about it. But he looks at the script, it's Big Mama House 2. He has to wear a dress. Cat Williams says, fuck that shit. Let the other guy do it. And I want to talk about that real quick.
Yeah.
Men wearing dresses for comedy.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I felt like in the 90s we didn't care that much, as long as it's funny. But now I know, like, I don't know, we're more conscious of worrying about feminism or whatever, or we just weren't, or especially in the black community, of making men and trying to, I guess, make us look more feminine. That we promote these comedians to wear dresses, and for me, I always felt like it was about the comedy. But maybe I'm just being naive. Like, what's your opinion on Cat Williams saying he denied multiple, probably big paying gigs if they told him to wear a dress? And he's like, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I have not watched that whole podcast in the entirety. I saw clips and things from the nightcap or whatever, but I saw enough to feel like Cat Williams was saying, look at all these other black comedians, and these white men in Hollywood want to humiliate these brothers. And in order to get more doors open, they want you to put a dress on. And he and Bernie Mac did not do that, and others. We did not do that. We didn't sell out. That's why the machine didn't push us. That's why we're not as popular as Steve Harvey or Bernie Mac or Cedric the Entertainer. Like, he went in on these guys like, hey, I'm funnier than these guys. I sell out. I didn't need to put a dress on, right? So it's interesting to me because I don't know what, he's coming out very convincing in the way because he's bringing some facts with what he's saying. But my question to you is, Is Katt Williams right? Do you think that the Hollywood execs and the music producers are shaming and wanting to embarrass black men on purpose by putting them in a dress? And if you don't do that, Katt Williams says you don't get this little light-skinned, weird-looking girl, right, with a weird face, right? And he shows a picture of all these black comedians with these beautiful-looking light-skinned women, and then they're most of them are more successful as far as household names than Katt Williams and Mark Curry. Yeah. So what do you think? Do you think there's some truth to that? Or do you think he's jealous? Do you think what is it, man? Like what? Katt
Williams always been a bit of a rebel, and I think that's come from upbringing. I think it's either his mom or his dad is like a civil rights kind of background. They take stands on stuff. I think Kevin Hart was trying to get the money, just like he's trying to get the money. So one of the things that Katt Williams says that he thinks that Kevin Hart was a plant, right?
Yeah.
Listen, Kevin Hart, he said, because he's like, he didn't have anything before. He just came out of nowhere. I'm like, I don't know if he came out of nowhere. Like, I think he was a stand-up comedian.
I've seen him on specials.
Yeah,
I've seen him on specials before he was really big.
The thing is, Katt Williams, thing about Kevin Hart is he started to take everything. Every role, as long as they were ready to pay him. And when you do that, you are a little bit of your soul gets, because you're taking everything. Not you have to say no to some of the stuff, and you're going into these Hollywood parties and talking to the executives, and talking about Diddy tried to mess with him a couple of occasions, trying to party with him. You're dealing with a lot of weird, manipulative predators, and these predators are the gatekeepers to, like you said, access to
opportunities.
All your dreams can be fulfilled, but you got to do this really weird thing and come to this house, this party, and some people say no. And Katt Williams was like, "No, I'm not doing it." And a few others that talk about Hollywood, even as comedians or just regular actors, like, no, there are certain things they want you to do, and you got to either agree or not. But if you don't agree, then those doors are closed. Those opportunities are gone.
So let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
You're a comedian. Do you take the Kevin Hart route where you're gonna do some things maybe you don't want to do, compromise your integrity, whatever those things are, okay? But it's something you're doing a lot, you're accepting a lot. But with that, you bring your boys with you. You start a company, you're employing people, you're leveling up people around you. Do you do that, or do you do what Katt Williams does? And what I've heard stories from Katt Williams recently, he hasn't sold out. He does what he wants, but he runs his own business. He finances his own shows, sells them out. He puts cash in people's hands. Other comedians, he'll give them $5,000, $10,000. He takes care of people without all the cameras on, right?
So that's the most important. As long as you help him.
As long as you help him. So what route would Hannibal take? Would you want that fame and maybe a little more money or whatever, or would you want the Katt Williams side?
Well, I guess that's a complicated question because it depends on helping. Like how many people you can help. Like Kevin Hart could potentially help more people because he has more access to more resources, right?
You would think probably, yes.
And he, most he said was Kevin Hart was a plant. He didn't say Kevin Hart stole jokes or manipulative. It's possible because they don't like each other too. There's a long history. They do not like each other. I know Giggity said about Dave Chappelle. Well, Dave Chappelle tried to do it the regular way. And then he didn't like how the direction of his show was going, where he thought they were making fun of him, not laughing with him. When he was talking about the next season coming back and the jokes, he's very provocative, talking about races and stuff like that. And he looked at the script of what they wanted him to do, and he was like, I don't want to do that. Yeah. So I could see eventually when he goes too corporate, especially with art, you're gonna run into a problem, especially if you're passionate about what you're trying to create. So eventually you would have to make a choice. You're going to go all corporate, or you're going to eventually branch off and do your own thing. I think that's a question of it depends on the person. I think Kevin Hart wants to stay in the mainstream as possible, as much as possible to make as much money. Steve Harvey obviously did that. He's trying to make as much, your imprint, right? But if you're around a bunch of predators, eventually it takes that out of you. It takes that out of you, right? Like imagine if you were working with a P. Diddy type of person. And you kind of know what he's doing. You may not be in the room when it's happening, but you know the kind of energy he's bringing out of people. Eventually, you're like, yo, I can't deal with this anymore. Or I got to move on and do my own thing. Or you're like, you know what? We'll make a lot of money.
Look at that question from Qualia.
Yeah.
I mean,
but that's the thing. Like that's what we're saying, or we thinking, and also the content. So let's say he didn't have to put on a dress or bend over, right? Soul Plane didn't help a lot of black people. I mean, a few of the movies were pretty
bad.
Like he made him, yeah, he did whatever it took to get on. And some people have boundaries on what is acceptable, right? Like going back with Martin Lawrence, Big Mama's House, right? I think Martin Lawrence is one of the funniest people ever in life. Like,
Big Mama's House is a funny movie,
right?
I mean, it's a funny movie, right? Big
But
Mama's House.
Yeah, I find it funny. Yeah. But his career is made partly by him putting on a dress. Going back to the TV show, right? Sinead, Mama Payne, putting on an acting.
Yeah, but that's funny though. Martin Lawrence is, I mean, that's funny shit. Martin's hilarious.
But does that help the image of black men and how every major black comedian has put on a dress, from Jimmy Fox? I mean, just doesn't matter. You can't just say the name; you'll have that there.
When did that start? Because I don't. Richard Pryor, Bill Cosby. Did they wear dresses? No, right? I can't.
I don't know. Bill Cosby,
Red Fox.
I don't think Bill Cosby. I don't know. Rick Fox ain't fucking. Yeah, Red Fox ain't putting no damn dress.
No, neither do. So you're talking. Those are three legends. I don't remember them more. So is this something that started in the 80s or early 90s? I don't know. Yeah. I remember Dustin Hoffman's a white man. He wore a dress.
Yeah, and the biggest movie of a man wearing a dress is one of the funniest movies I can watch right now. Miss Doubtfire.
Absolutely.
I can sit there and watch that right now, and that's one of the biggest movies of a big old white guy dressing up as well. Now he was trying to see his kids, so at least I was like, he was so desperate for his kids. He was like, I'll dress up as a woman. Like, would you dress up as a woman to see your kids? Would you dress up as a woman to see your kid?
Listen, I wouldn't have to, because that's like last.
That's a top-bad question.
Okay. No. Fuck them kids. No. Fuck them kids. Listen, I don't know.
He went all in too. He had the accent. He was fucking. He was.
The movie's phenomenal, man. I mean, then you got like there's been white men that have done it as well. The Rocky Horror Picture Show, or whatever, they dressed up, and there's been, but with the black comedians, it feel like there's more of them, right?
Yeah.
There's more. There's just more. So that's when you look at it like something doesn't seem right. My gut instinct tells me like Katt Williams has got to be right about a lot of this stuff. Maybe he's stretching the truth a little bit, but he's got a lot of great points.
Yeah, and I feel like in the '90s, other than your most like militant like black guy, don't do this setup, blah, blah, blah. In the '90s, we just watched In Living Color, or we were watching the Martin Show, or we were watching the Wayans Brothers. We was watching it and just laughing, not necessarily thinking that they're trying to demean and trying to destroy the masculinity of black people. At least in my perspective. But now I don't know, we're becoming a little bit more tuned into that and thinking of the agenda to bring down masculinity, that you would have so many black comedians putting on a dress. That's actually a perfect question right here. Like, is it submission? Well, definitely Katt Williams believes that. 100%, 100%. It's a setup. I'll look at the script. Can you take out some of this out? And they sit there like, yeah, sure, and then never call them back.
Yeah,
because this is what they wrote, this is what they want, and we don't care. And why can't they not just take it out? See, that's when it gets weird too. Like, is this scene important for the story? So that's why I go back. Is it submission? I don't know. I don't want to go too 10 for Hattie over here, but
you bring up. I really like your point about current state of how people are thinking about things and how we're looking at things, what lens we're using to dissect things that have happened, right? And we can go, it's really easy now to go back and say, well, what about this? And this wouldn't look right. And this, Dr. Seuss is racist, and this and that. Like, we're doing that with a lot of different things, right?
Yeah.
And I think, I think some of those things stand, like, some things that we can look back now that happened 100 years ago, 50 years ago, 20 years ago. We look now, it's like, that was fucked up. That wasn't okay, right? But now, more people have a voice, and we're a little more. Some people might say awoken, right? But like, I don't know. Are we going too far? I don't. I
Well,
struggle.
at least with Katt, he's been consistent. So at least that point, like his frame of reference hasn't changed. He's like, I don't want to do that. But it's interesting that he doesn't want to wear a dress, but he has no problem being a pimp. No problem playing that role, right? Like that's one
Ooh,
of the more
yeah.
funnier roles and famous roles he plays. I mean, I love the Boondocks. One of my favorite characters is his name is a pimp named Slipback, and when you call him, you have to say the whole thing, like the whole thing. A pimp named Slipback is his entire name. Like it's funny, but he's comfortable with that kind of role. Doesn't really,
Mm.
I'm not saying the most positive role for black man, obviously, right? Um,
It's a good point. I wonder what would happen. Let me. I feel like obviously that interview broke the internet. It's gonna, from what I understand, the most watched podcast is like about 50 million views. Joe Rogan, Elon Musk. That's what I've heard.
oh, that's gonna beat that.
Don't
Yeah.
fact, but it's gonna
It's gonna beat it. Yeah.
it's gonna beat that probably by the next 2 weeks. So, and
Because
to do that,
everyone's responding to.
Shannon Sharp did that, and he's got like he just passed 2 million subscribers, which is fantastic. But he's not Joe Rogan level. He's not Mr. Beast with the subscribers.
That
So
helps.
that he's standing on his shit. I mean, it's great to see. I don't know. I like it, but
Yeah, he had to defend himself a little bit. They thought, oh, why you didn't why you didn't give him any follow up questions? Like as if this was a CNN interview. I don't think Shannon knew how crazy it was going to go. And then after he realized it, he kind of just let it ride. He's like, okay, tell me about this, tell me about that.
yeah. Clearly, he did it right because it worked. People are talking about it. People, he did a fantastic job. I think he handled it very well. I thought he did great. He let Cal Williams speak. He challenged him on a few things here and there, and asked a few questions. Like, really, But I thought he did a great job interviewing him. And I thought Katt Williams did great too. He was animated at certain times, like he.
I feel like he had a set. He had his whole. He knew exactly what he was going to say from the time he sat down. He's like, I'm going to say these things because he was flowing. He was flowing so smoothly with it. He knew he had these thoughts in his head for years. And the interesting thing is, the reason why it's becoming such a big deal, breaking the internet, so many people responded. Like Kevin Hart has responded multiple times, and all the responses are not good. They're not funny. It's you feel like basically saying sorry for how you feel this way. Check out my new movie on Netflix. Like terrible responses.
Did you
Ludacris
see
came up with a
Ludacris?
freestyle. That was
Did you see? Did you see?
I was like, that was interesting. And the thing is, that was a really good freestyle. It didn't answer anything about the Illuminati,
No,
but
freestyle was legit, but it didn't really.
Ludacris can fucking rap his ass off, man. But yeah, he didn't answer.
No.
So that he kind of, and the fact that everyone that did respond didn't say what the guy said was wrong. They were just saying he was sad, he needs help, he's looking for some assistance. But no, you're not saying he's lying, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Lou did not say he was lying. He just said,
Good point.
It's not the Illuminati. It's Ludonami. I'm like,
listen. I'll tell you this. Katt Williams. Tell me if I'm wrong. This is what I heard. Katt Williams said him and Ludacris basically went to a party and they were both told, "We'll give you $200 million," and it was going to be one of the two of them. Yeah. And Ludacris was the one that they decided because Katt Williams basically was like, "I'm not doing that." Yeah. And if I'm Ludacris, after hearing that, if that's not the truth, I'm gonna say that never happened.
That never happened. There was no party. There's no one told me that. So that was bullshit.
Big...
And then now listen to my freestyle. Because it was a good freestyle.
Yeah. And we talked about how I'm on a plane and Fast and Furious and John Singletary, and I'll make these word rhymes. I'm really good because I'm Luda. But he didn't disprove anything.
No.
So he lost.
And he did cut his hair. So it's interesting too because I thought the original. What I've heard is the reason why Luda got on to those Fast and Furious movies is because Ja Rule decided, oh, I'm too big for the movies. I'm gonna go star, because I'm gonna get a big role in the latest Steven Seagal movie, in the dumbest choice for a career. Like his career started going downhill with that. And then instead of going with Ja Rule, they went with Ludacris, and then that's the reason because token rapper guy in those movies.
Yeah,
I don't know.
What do you think about this comment here?
Everything's a distraction.
True.
I mean, everything is a distraction. NFL is a distraction. Like, what can we do, even if we knew what was happening, whatever that is, right? Can we stop it? Yeah.
You know what? Repeat that sentence again. What can't we? What are you asking me? What can't we stop? You talking about just being distracted?
Well, what's like he said the Cat Williams is all a distraction, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
whatever that thing is that we should know about, we should be paying attention to. How can we change it? Like what we could do to change it, even if we
You
knew
know
what it
what?
was.
I want to make sure I heard you right. For me,
Yeah.
and this is something I'm going to try to get better at this year, but it's going to be difficult. If I'm being honest, I believe what you consume, whether it's digested through your body or through your eyes on a TV screen, a laptop, a phone, what we choose to consume and how long we do it allows the distraction to be alive, right? So if I don't like the things that I'm being fed in by the media, by this, by that, I actually cannot. It would be really easy for us, I think, some easier than others to unplug. We don't have to watch YouTube. We don't have to watch the NFL if we think it's rigged. We don't have to get our media from, there's other options. Those options are harder to find at times. They might not be as fun and flashy. They might not come as glitzy. But I believe it's really easy to fall in the trap of being distracted. Right. But we still have free choice to not play the game, right? Yeah. I say that because I want to consume less of certain things. I want to watch less TikTok in 2024 because it's not good for you. It's just not, right? You can find good elements and you can learn some things, but at the end of the day, watching too much of something, it could become a negative.
Unhealthy.
So I think there's distractions, but I think we can still control how much of a distraction it is in our everyday life.
Yeah, that's a good point. I feel like Katt Williams is a little bit more of the offbeat. He thinks his own thoughts. He is an independent thing. He's a rebel. I think if you look at the theme of why that talk and why that podcast blew up, yes, it's a lot of drama. He's talking about a lot of very famous people, and then he's able to back up what he said. But we think about what to learn from that is, Hollywood, with these high power executives and these people, they out to take advantage of you. And some of your own peers are trying to take advantage of you, take your work, steal your work, try to manipulate you, having jealousies. There's, Katt Williams was talking about how Steve Harvey was hating on Bernie Mac, probably because he realized how Bernie Mac was just probably better at this than him. And the way, and then looking at how someone took the entire, career of one person and used it for themselves and never gave him props. You know what I mean? Like, we deal with that, in a small little degree in terms of our own lives, but to stay, Katt Williams stayed on business.
Yeah.
Kept it real. He didn't tarnish his integrity.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. I find it interesting. I think I heard, so does Katt Williams have Netflix specials? He does, right?
Yeah. Okay. I'm assuming it's still on that. Yeah. He has several.
Yeah. So I would imagine there's got to be something in the works, because if Katt Williams next week comes out with a Netflix special, that shit's gonna blow up.
Well, he's definitely fielding a lot of offers, and he was still he was saying, you may think like you said, you may think he's not looking good or he's in a bad issue because he's in jail. Where he's like, listen, I'm in jail because I'm always got weed on me or I got a gun on me. I got to protect myself. Like, it is what it is, right? So he still gets work.
Oh yeah.
Cubs, he shows up somewhere. Someone will pay. Like, if he was, I mean, no, I don't know if they're able to afford the tickets, but if he was in town and I had a night where I could go, I would go watch Katt Williams. Yeah. So he still has the ability to. But now, of course, Netflix comes in with a big Brinks. You got to bring the Brinks truck up. David Chappelle type money, Chris Rock type money. He's the biggest draw. People are already probably fielding offers. He's probably fielding offers right now.
I would think so. Have you seen the Chappelle's latest thing on Netflix? Have you seen that yet?
No, I haven't seen that yet. I know. I heard some. He don't give a fuck. I love the fact that he's gonna make those jokes, and he's doing it on purpose. If the funny thing is, he's kind of trolling. If it just bombed and no one laughed, he would not do it anymore. Yeah. If it was didn't get any attention, he would stop. But the fact that he's getting attention from doing that kind of joke is why he keeps doing it.
It feeds him. Listen, I thought the comedy special was just okay, but when I'm looking for David Chappelle, The last few have been pretty good. His old shit's great. So I'm looking like he's on a different measuring stick for me.
Right.
So okay. I laughed a few times, and I wasn't like blown away, right? But I enjoy a comedian that is fearless, right?
Yeah.
You bought a ticket or you are watching me, I'm gonna make you laugh. So don't be offended. I make fun of everybody. David Chappelle makes fun of Asians, blacks,
Everybody,
whites, handicapped, transgender. He makes fun of Jewish people, everybody. So he's done that since the beginning. So why are we surprised that he's going in on people? Like I like that about. I really
there's a lot of very sensitive people out here.
Yeah.
And it's because, and again, the 90s, I don't know if you really think about this, but back in the 90s, we were allowed to see too much shit, man. It was too much.
You think so?
Yeah, man. Think about it. The Jerry Springers, the Richard Bay, Jenny Jones, like the weirdest stuff we were able to see at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Like my man cheat on me with this chick, and then they fight on the screen. We watching it. All of this woman is getting tested to see who the father of her child. And there's 4 men in the panel. I'm like, yo, what is happening here? I think that's we went too weird, and now we're too sensitive.
Do you think that desensitized us? Like it made us?
Well, me and you, right?
Yeah.
But like a generation a little younger, they're like, yo, what the fuck is this? This is terrible. You're making fun of this person. You're fat shaming. You're this, you that. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's funny. We're just jokes.
Yeah.
I mean, David Chappelle's a little older than us. Like, we're like, no, we don't really believe about like in terms of being gay is a bad thing or not. This is funny. It's like
funny.
married with children. Like they're like, no, that's disgusting. Stop. You can't.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we're stuck right now. Like
I was talking. So yeah, this is a good point. I went to a comedy show on New Year's Eve. It was just okay. The comedians were not that great. But I was talking to my dad a few days later. He went to a show a couple of months back, and he was sitting in the front, right? Yeah. And this comedian was making these like Mexican jokes. So he asked my dad, "Hey, what's your name?" And my dad says, "Well, my name's Pedro," you know. And he starts continuing on with the Mexican joke, using my dad as a reference. My dad's not Mexican, Puerto Rican. But my dad didn't say anything because he was like, "Hey, I'm not going to ruin this guy's show." And like, he's on, he's a comedian. He's laughing. Yeah. He's assuming because of my name. There's nothing wrong. My dad could have been, if he was that kind of guy, like, "Oh, I'm highly offended because you're making fun of me as a Mexican." But my dad's not like that. He's there he bought a ticket to be entertained. And he understands that this guy's going to make fun of certain stereotypes. There's nothing wrong with that, right? It's So for me, I think we have gotten a little too sensitive. So I think your gut should tell you if somebody's really being a jerk or racist or really just a bad person, right? So for me, man, I think comedians, they should be able to make fun of things. I think it's entertainment. It's an escape. Life's really hard for a lot of people. We should be able to make fun of ourselves a little more. And, I just think Dave Chappelle does a really great job of just not giving a fuck. He's just saying what he wants, so.
And I'm happy he didn't, there's a few, like, he didn't, Katt didn't say any shit about Dave Chappelle fucking around or doing something terrible, which is great. Martin Lawrence, I love Martin Lawrence. All right, he didn't want to put on a dress. Okay, big whoop. I mean, it is what it is. I still kind of, I understand. I think I'm leaning on maybe we should all take a break on the dress play. I think we, as a collective, I don't know, I'll go to the next meeting. I'll say, hey, black guys, hey, let's stop with the dress for at least let's give it 15 years. No dress.
Your contribution to the Black Caucus.
Me and Kuala, we'll hang out there. Like this children because we don't know what's going on. Like we don't know what's happening. It's a setup. They're trying to play us. Let's chill out with the dress.
There's no way right now that a black man can get in a dress. But I'll say this: if there's something that's already been recorded, that shit is going to come out, and this could be interesting to watch.
Well, yeah, because Dave Chappelle has been on a dress before. It was
it in his
show? It was a movie called Men in Tights. It was like a parody of the Robin Hood.
Oh, okay.
Very quickly, they had to dress as women to get into the Nottingham, whatever. It wasn't as over the top as watching.
Yeah, but why didn't he reference Dave Chappelle then? That's a big name. It's a bigger name than the other guys.
I remember that happened. And also, if you did it, it's not like saying, well, you're wrong. Like you did something you realized because I know David Chappelle early on the way certain movies were done, like Half Baked, right? Like his first movie, he didn't like the way that was done.
Yeah.
Like he started to realize, like Hollywood, you have to work with a lot of people. You may not. I think that was directed. I forgot who directed it, but it wasn't like a really name brand person or somebody important. You realize there's certain things you don't want to do, but you still want to make the money, or you still have to do what you have to do. So I don't know, but yeah,
You
I
know what?
think at this point we need to slow down with that. I think.
What's up, Rational Gig Driver? How you doing? Shout out to everybody in the chat. I also saw somebody I hadn't seen in a minute. Whoever Imperial Stats is. What's up, man? I think you've been here before, but welcome. Everybody else, the usual suspects. Thank you all for rocking with us tonight. Let me bring up something though. I remember seeing. You think about like the founding fathers of America. Them motherfuckers wore wigs, right?
Yeah,
they wore
that
wigs,
was style back then.
flowery shirts, puffy shirts, dresses, kilts. In Ireland, their brothers wear kilts, right? So like, are we making too much of a man wearing a dress for a comedic role? Because men have worn things that are similar and they weren't acting.
Right. Yeah, I think it depends on, I guess, the cultural. It's a cultural situation. Do you think that one culture is being looked down upon because of what they're doing to create a laugh, right? Interesting. Well, they said it's Scotland, not Ireland. It's Scotland.
Sorry.
Same. It's totally different places.
I'm sure there's been one Irish dude that's worn a kilt. Okay.
You didn't watch Braveheart, dog?
Huh?
You didn't watch Braveheart?
I love Braveheart. He's Scottish.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then we would call him Irish. Would would you?
Look, some dude in Ireland is worn a kilt at some point. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It shouldn't matter. If it's about if it's about making someone laugh, it really shouldn't matter. But now we have like you said, now we have so many things to think about.
Yeah.
Now it becomes a complicated thing. But some people are pretty firm on it. Like Cat Williams, he's firm. Like, no, can we not put this kind of element into the script? No, well, I'm not going to do the movie. And he kind of moves on.
Kolai says, well, the difference is the comedians wearing dresses also have a female bodysuit underneath. Yeah, that's a great point.
Well, that's what Big Mama House. I mean, he had to put on a big suit.
And we see him put it on, right? We see him actually.
Yeah, it's a lot of work to do that.
Who was that? Nia Long in that movie? Yeah, Nia Long, right? I think it was Nia Long. I'm pretty sure it was Nia Long.
Oh, speaking of Nia Long, you know how much money our guy have to pay her every month because he got divorced?
Oh, they were married. They were
married.
10 G's.
Off.
5.
Way off.
20.
Off.
$100,000 a month.
Jesus Christ! $32,500 a month.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
Jesus.
That's a lot of money. I mean, let me show you the screen. Hold on a second. Let me show you the screen. Yeah, I saw that. It's funny when you said Neil Long. I saw that yesterday. Yep. Child custody. I don't know how old. 12 years old.
See, I didn't remember that they even had kids and stuff. Okay, so if there's kids and stuff, it is what it is. That's what he gets. When you're horny and you fuck up, you got to pay for it. It is what it is.
So they're saying that Udoka's monthly income is about $500,000, $446,000 a month.
So he's fine.
And the son is with her 95% of the time. So
did he even smash that chick? I guess he did. He had sex with her. Yeah. Was it a relationship? Like, was he getting anything?
No, I think it was just she was there probably.
Damn.
But yeah, I guess the problem is, Udoka is playing. He's a head coach of the Rockets, so he can't really. He's not there, obviously. So he got paid that money. Would you pay for that? Would you pay?
Listen, I've been divorced one time, and I had to pay some money for about 1.5 years. I remember it. And that last check I wrote was a glorious day. That's all I'll say. But we didn't have any kids together. But it is.
Yeah, and Nia Long have a pretty good career, so she's not. Her situation is not. I mean, maybe not. I don't know. It's been a minute since I've seen her in a movie, so I don't know if she.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, I think Udoka has more money than she does. I'm guessing, right?
Look how fantastic she looks, man. Jesus Christ.
$32,000 a month. You're looking.
No, well, I don't know. Well, I don't know about. I'm saying she looks good enough not to fuck around on her with. I mean, damn, like, come on, crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, you know what? Don't get like I said, don't get so horny. Get yourself ruin your life and now your finances because you got that's a heavy
Listen,
chunk of change.
listen. Let me ask you a question because you always seem, and the audience seems to ask Pedro questions about Pedro. How much would it take for you to do this and Dolly Parton? So let me ask Hannibal a question since we're on topic. You are a black man in America. We're talking about black comedians wearing dresses.
Yeah.
How much
Shit.
How much would you need to wear a dress and make a YouTube video?
Oh, fucking.
How much money? How big would the check
man. You got to give me
$1 million?
No, listen, I'm not you. Listen, I don't think I'm some kind of princess or body that can't beat the. You know what? Give me 6 figures. I'll take 100,000.
Okay, 100,000. You'll make a video in a dress. It's fair. Fair. Okay.
Koala won't talk to me anymore. She won't support my work anymore.
Bodacious says 450K. That's a big check, man. That's a big.
What do you guys think you guys are? And Pedro, how much was it? 10 million. You need ownership of the Lakers. Like how much money it would take? You need ownership of your.
Well, earlier you asked me would I wear a dress to see my kids, and I said fuck them kids, right?
Yeah.
So, let me. Listen, I would have really no problem making fun of myself. If somebody's gonna write me a check to wear a dress to make a YouTube video, you can give me 100,000. I think that's fair. I'll make a video. I'll do something in my car. I'll make fun of myself, and I'll cash that check the next day. So for me, I ain't got no problem with it. It's not gonna be something I'm gonna do all the time, but I ain't got no problem with my sexuality in that way where I feel like I'm compromising something. If anything, that 100K is going to do a lot for my family, so I'll take $100,000. Yeah.
I'm not worried about my sexuality. I'm just worrying about. I just told everyone. Remember, I was going to have a meeting and say we're all taking a break from this, and then I'm taking 100 G's to put on a dress. So I think that's a bit much. I mean, we're all whores, but still. Big Carl says, "Give me $10,000 cash, and don't touch my butt."
Goliath says, "Makeup too." Ooh, I don't know.
All right, Pedro, you put on the makeup. You get your money. That they say, Pedro, we love this video. It's amazing. We want to sign you on for the rest of the year. We're gonna give you that every month. You make 100,000 every month, but you gotta give us another video.
But I gotta do
give us monthly videos. Yeah.
No.
No. Because $200,000 is nothing compared to 100 or $300,000.
No, what I'm saying though is then if you're doing it every month, that becomes you. It becomes your identity. That's what you're known. That's what you're known for. I ain't trying to be known for that. So no.
Well, you make enough money, who gives a shit?
That's a good point, but that's not the avenue I'm trying to go down. Right? I'm gonna get my $1 million check a different way at some point. So for me, I say that now. You put all those stacks.
That's a lot of money.
But I don't know if I want to compromise my legacy and to be something I'm not. Like I'm not a comedian. I'm not somebody that puts on a dress. So for me, I don't know, man. I don't know if it couldn't be a recurring thing for me. No.
Yeah, and I mean, Carl said 10,000. Is that the least amount of money you would take?
10 G? Would I take 10 G's to make a video wearing a dress?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't.
Fair
would you take 10? Would you take 10,000?
That's not enough. That's not enough money because I know I'm gonna be made fun of. So it may be enough money where I can take a vacation for a couple of days. Not worry about shit. Not worry about the bills. $10,000. I still gotta worry about the bills.
Yeah, $10,000 is nice. I could do some things with that, but I can't quit my job and I can't. Nah. I'm good.
But I'm wondering for like Martin, right, or the other comedians, is not $100,000. It's millions of dollars. With Martin, I'm sure in Big Mama House, I don't know how many. He's probably getting at least $5-10 million. Someone said, "Put this dress on, you're gonna get $10 million."
Listen,
that's it's easy for us to say no, but at the moment when, like I said, you see that check. All those, I'll see those comments there, man.
Yeah. Listen, Big Carl. How about we meet up tomorrow? I'll get you a dress from Walmart and some makeup. Or we can make a video. I'll give you $100, bro. You ready? 100 bucks.
I think Carl may be on to something. We do worry about too much. I mean, we are whores, but then we don't want to go all in.
Listen, Carl. Listen, Carl's not necessarily wrong. Yeah, I definitely, I don't give a fuck what people think, but I am cautious of how I come across, and I've done a lot of stupid shit, right? But at the end of the day, I sometimes think like, man, should I have done that? Should I have said this? Sometimes I self-analyze my day. I don't regret anything wrong, but I don't know. For me, I don't know. The money thing, man. If I have $10 million to make a movie wearing a dress, it's hard to pass that up. It's really, really hard to pass that up.
Yeah, I think so. So it's right now, especially if that money can be generational, obviously you can kind of do this whole thing where you can take care of your family, your family's family. So, but at the same time, people, your integrity is important, and there's a lot of people that went into Hollywood, went into entertainment industry, did a lot of things they didn't want to do, and it destroyed them. So,
Yep.
is the money that important? When
Yep.
your identity, your body, your temple is violated.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff by
Good
the
point.
pursuit of money and fame. So you definitely have to be careful.
Great points. I want to answer this question from Jody. This is out of left field. I mean, Pedro, would you rather F an 80-year-old woman, an 18-year-old man, or a horse?
Jody, what's going on?
I have no idea.
Jody, you had some wine tonight? Questions. What's happening here?
Because you should know the answer to that question.
Yeah, definitely. Wait,
no.
Right. Yeah, we don't need to say it, but we all know the answer.
Yes.
Yeah. Right?
Well, I'm not a gay man, and I'm not into bestiality.
Yeah, but you was hating on Dolly Parton, so that's why I don't know, because you were giving her a hard time. She was looking like a baddie, and you were like, gross. It was like, what are you talking about? Wouldn't you do her for 3 G's? And you like, ew.
Time out. I never said she was gross. Don't put words in my mouth. I never said that.
I remember the exact words. Bobby was in here. He was.
Let me clip it.
Okay. The Bobby and Giggity were like, they were all in for free.
Oh, for free. What? Well, bro, what are you talking about, bro? Listen, I gotta be drunk. I mean, she's 80, bro. She's 80, man. That's like crazy. That's like my grandma's not.
She's a human being.
I'm not saying she's not a human. She's still 80, bro. What are you talking about?
Yeah. But Jody, you know the answer to that. Oh, at least you know my answer. You know what Pedro answer is. So.
Kolaya coming in. Marcus, I ain't have any panties on.
Oh shit.
I'm dead.
All right, you went hurt? No.
Say what?
Eartha, was it Eartha Kitt?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, she's pretty old that too.
Yeah, y'all think I'm just some dude out here? I can't get no ass on my own. Like I'm just some lonely.
Pedro do not like old women.
I gotta be smacked.
After 70, he ain't trying. Don't talk to him. Don't holler at him.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
Oh, all right. On that note, guys, I think we're done.
You guys are wild tonight. I love the energy, man. I love it. Making me laugh, man.
Oh yeah, one really sad story. I just saw this earlier as well. Tyrese Halliburton had a little injury. He had a handspring strain. He had to leave the game.
I heard. I don't know how serious it could be. A few weeks or maybe longer. Hopefully, he's been on a tear. He's had a fantastic.
Yeah, it would suck for him to be kind of hurt. Like that's kind of sucks. Like he's doing next level type stuff. I think they're showing a video right here. Let me see. Oh, he just look at that. He's like a weird split.
Yeah, those non-contact kind of like it. Those are the ones you got to really worry about because. I wish he's been balling out, man. He's been I saw something in the last whatever games. He had like 90 assists and like 9 turnovers. That's crazy, man.
Yeah. Fucking floors, slippery. Who set that up? Well, they're on home court, so that was like
somebody's losing their job.
No, actually, he just slipped on. He just ran weird. Sneakers. Oh, yeah, they carry his ass out.
Damn, that sucks, man. Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Did you see what our boy Jameis Winston did yesterday? I know you probably heard about it.
Yeah, I heard about it. I see a lot of arguments going back and forth. In my opinion, it don't look good for the coach of the team.
Mm-hmm.
That you would tell your quarterback to do the thing he's supposed to do, and then Jameis in his Jameis way said, "Fuck that! We're gonna give the ball to Jamal so he can get his one single touchdown."
Yeah.
The reason why I don't like it, first they don't agree or believe in you or following you. But why even do that? Why don't you just run the ball in? Go all in instead of doing just take the knee. Because I'm just wondering, he doesn't have the tone of his team. His team wanted to score. How he didn't know that? Like, where's the disconnect? You know what I mean? Like that disconnect was not there. Or was there?
Yeah. Well, I think they might have said it on the sideline, like, "Hey, we want to score. We want to get Jamal Williams a touchdown, right?" And then he was like, "Nah, victory formation, take a knee." And then they just went in and said, "Forget it." So, bad look for the coach.
Yeah.
Bad look for Jameis Winston. I don't think that's a good look for him, especially if you're, they're going to cut him. Some people say they should cut him. Is another team going to want him when you're being defiant, when you don't need to be, right? Just because. So it's some elements there. Jameis Winston's always kind of a kooky guy. I don't dislike Jameis Winston at all. I think he's funny. He's in the NFL. But it's definitely, I think it says more about the coach.
Yeah.
Than it does Jameis. That Jameis had so comfortable to get in victory formation. The defense assumes you're going to take a kneel. Instead, they're being pushed on when they're not expecting that. So that's kind of disrespecting your opponent, right?
They're going to remember that. If he's still on the team, they're going to remember what he did.
Somebody next year is going to get blasted physically for that, and that sucks for that guy. You don't know who So the Falcons are going to be headhunting on the Saints, so that's somebody can get seriously hurt because he disrespected them, right? So for me, man, Jameis Winston might not be in a team because he made that decision next year.
Yeah, I don't think it, and he's not that good to keep. Like he's not that guy.
You don't need him. So that's what I'm saying. He might have lost himself some serious money.
Yeah,
because he's not super old. He can be a backup for the next 5-6 years. So he potentially could have lost several $1 million by making that decision in the huddle.
Yeah. At least whoever he goes to, they're gonna probably sit him down and like, you ever do that here, there's gonna be a problem. They tell you to do something, you do it, and then he'll have to at least demonstrate that he will be following directions. But I thought it was kind of funny. Some of the people in the comments kind of agree. Like you should score every time. You should, you should always be ready to score. So like,
I think we're having a different conversation if they lined up in regular formation and they wanted to score. I think that's different, but that's not what they did.
Yeah, it was kind of sneaky, kind of backhanded kind of thing. So yeah, we'll see. But other than that, I gotta make some bets. I'm gonna put some money on for the next week.
Let me check the score before we leave. I think the Michigan won. They did 34-13. So they spanked them by 3 touchdowns, right?
So this is it. Jim is out. He finally got it.
Big deal. Michigan winning is a big deal. First
national title since 1997. So it looks like he did it. He came back to the alma mater. He got the championships. Fuck you guys. I'm gonna coach the Falcons.
Undefeated season. That's impressive.
Actually, he should not. If the only teams that are available are the Falcons, Commanders, and what other team you said?
Listen, Michigan's got money. He's about to get paid. He's already on contract, but I'm sure there's a bonus.
That's what I'm saying. Like none of those teams you would take. Like nothing came up and like, oh, that was good. Like I wouldn't take the Commanders. Falcons are terrible. There's another team.
Chargers have a great new stadium. Justin Herbert, But listen, at the end of the day, I'm running that back. I'm going back to Michigan. Can we do it again? Like that's my mindset right now.
Right. Yeah.
See, we can get one. Yeah.
We'll see. All right, guys. Thank you for hanging out with us. Another lovely night with us. We'll be back on Wednesday about some new shit. I gotta get the damn shirt. I hope I get it by Wednesday.
Yeah, so Wednesday Hannibal's gonna wear a Bears shirt, and we're gonna it's gonna be a fun night. So come back.
Yeah, we're all losers.
We are. You know what I'll do on Wednesday, bro? I'll wear mine too, even though I don't want to. I'll put mine on just in solidarity with you. I don't want to make you feel like you're all alone here. I'll put my Walter Payton jersey on, and we'll rock it. We'll do it together, man.
Yeah, we'll do some, maybe some breakdown of the Bears next season. We become like the Chicago Bears podcast for like 15 minutes.
Nah,
huh? No,
we ain't doing it. No.
Okay, fair enough.
They don't deserve that.
They don't deserve it. All right, guys. On that note, thank you for hanging out with us. We'll see you on Wednesday. Peace.